Amanda Nunes retains her UFC Bantamweight Championship. It takes her less than a minute. Miesha Tate, your mic is hot. What do you think?
Well, I told you guys she is the hardest hitting female in the division, and she tagged her. She hurt her with that first jab. That's what set it up, was that first jab. She rocked her. She set another jab up. She took her time. She didn't over pursue, Michael. She did not over pursue. She used her range. She stayed on the end of her punches, kept Ronda right where she needed her.
Yes, you were correct. I'm still in shock. I can't believe what I just saw. That was incredible from Amanda Nunes. It really was. I mean, I knew she was capable of doing that, but I just didn't see it happening, and certainly not happening that fast. Unbelievable.
I'm not sure my heart can take these kind of events. What the heck is going on?
My heart's still racing.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that was unbelievable. But Miesha, you switched your opinion.
I did.
Why'd you let us switch your opinion?
Ronda looked so ready yesterday. It was the first thing that I had seen from her, and I thought, man, the most focused Ronda that we have ever seen. I thought, she's going to come in there, she's going to do it. You know, but originally I had Amanda, so obviously I was a little bit torn in the whole conflict. I did say, though, Amanda hits hard.
And the other thing you said on our pre-fight show was that Amanda Nunes wasn't going to force the moment. She was biding her time to set up the finish. She didn't over-pursue, but landed that first jab right out of the chute, and the rest was history.
Amanda Nunes is fast. She hits hard. But also, we got to talk about the things that Ronda Rousey didn't do. She was stable. She was not moving her feet. She was not moving her head. This was the same kind of thing that she experienced against Holly Holm. She was stagnant out there. You can't do that against someone like Amanda Nunes.
And you can't forget the circumstances in which Ronda was coming back. Let's remember, she was coming off a devastating loss. That does things to your confidence. Let's not forget that. And going in against a striker like Amanda Nunes, I mean, that is a tough call. That is a tough outing. As I said, I knew she was capable of doing that. I thought the fight would go either way. It could have been Ronda by a submission. It could have been Amanda Nunes. But my word, I'm still blown away. I really am. I'm in shock.
I thought Ronda was going to be moving her head more. I thought she knew how imperative it would be to not sit still on the end of Amanda Nunes' punches, but she took one, it caught her off guard, and then it was just an onslaught from there. And that's what Amanda Nunes has been continuing to improve on, is using that long range. And you think you're out of range. That's what's crazy about it. You think you're out of range. You think you're not going to get hit, and somehow she reaches you at the end of the punches. She is deceptively long.
You're absolutely right. It was the jab that started everything. It was a nice, solid jab that kind of stunned Rousey. And then from there, she did a beautiful job of swarming her and, of course, getting the finish. Well done.
Amanda Nunes is the real deal. Good luck to any bantamweight in the world trying to take that belt right now, because this is only going to elevate her that much more. She's as good as we thought she was. I mean, she's the real deal.
Miesha, when you saw Ronda make the walk tonight, when you saw her in the inspection zone, how did you think she looked emotionally, physically? Did she look ready to you?
Oh, absolutely. I thought Ronda Rousey looked ready as ever. I thought she was going to go out there and do what we've seen her do in the past. But again, like I said, she didn't move her head coming in, and that was the key. You have to have that moving target as you're coming in on someone who's so dangerous as Amanda Nunes. You've got to keep your head on a swivel. You've got to have it moving to close the distance. And like I said, that first jab just caught her off guard, and the rest was history.
Michael, I know you mentioned on the pre-fight show, I should say, that you supported her decision to stick with Edmond Tarverdyan. And we don't have a lot of footage here to analyze, obviously, but anything that we thought she might have done to shore things up defensively was not on display in that minute.
Well, thank you for trying to throw me under a bus, John.
Come on.
I really appreciate it. You're trying to make me look bad here.
No.
Listen.
Oh, because you're so shy.
Yeah, no, of course. More head movement, that would have been key, of course. Now, but at the end of the day, if you're beat by the better fighter, there's not much you can do. Amanda Nunes was on tonight. It's as simple as that. And I think she was just outmatched in the striking world. Of course, Ronda tried to close the distance. She tried to get her hands on her, but Amanda just weren't having it. She wasn't allowing it. And then if she couldn't get the takedown, she can't strike with her. Amanda is a better striker. And I don't think, with all the training in the world, whether or not it's with Edmond or a different coach or whoever, I don't think she would ever be able to close that gap.
That's a good point. Surprised that we didn't see a takedown attempt from Ronda. Again, you're talking about 40 or so seconds.
Listen, I think Nunes didn't really allow for it. I think that for Rousey, she wasn't feinting her way in. She didn't use her strikes to set up that clinch situation. There was no level changes at all. So I think she was kind of in awe of the speed and power of Nunes. That first shot really threw off, and then when Nunes was throwing those kicks to the stomach, to the belly area, that also threw off. I don't know if Rousey landed a shot, and I don't know if Nunes missed a shot.
When you come back from a fight after a devastating loss, when you've been knocked out, it takes a little bit of time to find your groove. It takes a little bit of, you almost have to get hit to feel comfortable in there. But the thing is, Amanda hit so hard, you can't afford that. Let's remember.
No feeling comfortable on the end of Amanda's punches.
Well, no,
I've been there. It's not a comfortable place. You don't feel comfortable there.
Exactly, 100%. So there's just no time. I mean, it was 40-something seconds. There was no time to get comfortable, as you said. So, I mean, yes, Ronda didn't do the right things, but the fight was so quick, it almost wasn't her fault because Amanda hit so hard.
There was two things against Ronda in this fight. Two key things that I found was the ring rust. That is a real thing. She hasn't been in there in over a year, and even though I know she tried to prepare her best and her coaches felt that she was going to be at her best, ring rust is a real thing. It's something I feel like we saw tonight. She's going up against a champion after a long layoff who's been hot on a win streak and just devastating everybody. That was a really big challenge for Ronda.
Absolutely. Coming back after 13 months onto the biggest stage, the final show of the year, huge pay-per-view, so much media hype around this. I mean, that is so hard. She should have had a tune-up fight first. Get comfortable with the octagon. Get used to being punched again, if you will. She needed a tune-up fight.
And we got to give props to Herb Dean for an excellent stoppage. He didn't wait for Ronda to get knocked down to the canvas and get followed up with harder shots. He got in there at the right time.
So 10th career knockout or TKO for Amanda Nunes, 11th first-round finish. And when you talk about what her star power could now be in Brazil and beyond, headlining UFC 200 against Miesha Tate, and now this card in Ronda Rousey's return, a massive superstar in Amanda Nunes. Her life's about to change dramatically.
Absolutely. The sky's the limit. She's as good as we thought. She went out there with another amazing performance against Rousey, who is the most dominant female on the planet when it comes to combat sports, and she made it look easy.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man or the woman. And that's what she did tonight. And now, I'm not saying she's gonna take all the star power that Ronda had, but everybody that loves Ronda watched tonight and they saw Amanda Nunes destroy her.
There were so many unknowns surrounding Ronda Rousey going into this fight. Some suggested maybe win or lose, she would retire. But now, after this result, gosh, it's a tough question 3 minutes removed from this fight, but where does Ronda Rousey go from here?
Well, honestly, I think that there's easier ways to make money at this point for Ronda Rousey. She's done a lot of amazing things in this sport. I think she's made a lot of money where she can be fine for the rest of her life. If you don't see the kind of improvements in your striking at this point with 411 days off, I don't know if we're going to see it again, and I don't think it's worth it. She took a lot of damage tonight.
She did. She took a lot of damage in her fight with Holly Holm, and she took a lot of damage tonight. Those 2 fights in a row where she's suffering major head trauma. Ronda Rousey's a talented person outside of fighting just as well. She's made a huge name for herself. I think transitioning to something else at this point is probably going to be on her radar.
If the reports I'm hearing are true, she made an absolutely outstandingly massive payday tonight.
Yes.
She's got a lot of money in the bank. She's achieved it all. She was the face of the sport. She was the champion for a long time. She was so dominant. People were talking about her being able to beat Mike Tyson. She's literally been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and got the bank account. Walk away. You've done it. Walk away.